It's Saturday, July 24th. My name is Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel, and it's time for a quick field report update on the wildfire situation in California, which I'm watching very closely from here in Rock Falls, Illinois, where we're attending the 2021 ACC Aviation Content Creators Awards event here the weekend before Oshkosh. Dan Griders brought me out here to supposedly receive some awards, but I got to go to work today and announce the entire ACC Air Show this afternoon. So it's going to be a lot of fun out at Whiteside County Airport, Rock Falls, Illinois. So check that out. But right now, let's take a quick update on what's going on with the wildfire situation in California. As is being reported widely on the news, the Tamarack fire, the Dixie fire in Northern California has supposedly reached mega fire status, and I'm not quite sure what the definition of mega fire is by mainstream media standards today. But as of the last report, the Dixie fire, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is up to about 143,000 acres burned thus far. Remember last year in California, we burned 4 million acres of forest. We're probably up to about 1 million acres now in California alone already this year, and it's not even August. The strong wind-driven events have not even begun yet. These are generally events driven by the prevailing winds from out of the west, yet still resulting in extreme fire behavior this early in the season. So it's very, very concerning what's going on with the situation in California. Remember too, during last year's burn, we've had fires that have spread 100,000 acres in a 24-hour burn period during these wind events. So we haven't seen anything yet. So let's go to the map and show you what we know so far. These wildfires are affecting the air quality all across the nation. So here in Rock Falls, Illinois, we've got about 3 to 5 miles visibility in smoke and haze. It's mostly haze, wildfire smoke from the west mixing with the haze and humidity here, producing low visibility conditions. Let's start off with the INCIWeb website showing you the fire mapping. Hundreds of fires throughout the western United States. Zoom on in here to California. Here in Northern California, here's Lake Tahoe. Here's Sacramento, Blanco Lirio Global Headquarters here in the Tahoe National Forest. The fire we're talking about right now is the Dixie Fire, located up here in Butte County and Plumas County on the North Fork of the Feather River. This is right about, the origin of this fire is right here in the Feather River. Once again, it was PG&E power lines that apparently ignited this fire. This is also near the ignition source for the Paradise Fire. Remember, that event was a wind-driven event that came ripping out of this North Fork Feather River Canyon. It took out the town of Concow and Paradise and on its way down towards Chico, California. Now, this fire has started, and with the prevailing winds out of the west, has proceeded nearly all the way to Lake Almanor. It's beginning to surround the Butte Valley Reservoir right there, and it's taking out all the forest in between. So 143,000 acres. Right now, the left flank, the head, and the right flank are very, very active, producing pyrocumulus clouds in the afternoon. And now we've got a new start right down here, which I suppose was probably a spot fire from the Dixie Fire, and this one is the Fly Fire. So these two will probably end up merging, creating a huge fire complex. The Fly Fire only at 1,600 acres at this time. So there are evacuations orders in and around the Quincy area. This is the original logging town of Quincy, California. Beautiful spot in Northern California, being threatened by the fire today. And then, of course, there's a lot of residential retirement communities up here on this section of Lake Almanor outside of Chester, California. And there's a airstrip located right about here, the Chester Airport, located right about here on Lake Almanor. And air attack aircraft there is an air attack base right there. Now, I don't know if they got the visibility to operate out of there now, or if they've been smoked out and have to move this air attack base operations off of this airfield or not. If anybody is in the area, can let me know an update on that, would be appreciated. Some of the stats on the Dixie Fire. This fire did start quite a few days ago. It is now up to, 167,000 acres with 18% containment. That containment would be back towards the heel and the origin of the fire. Estimating containment by July 31st. Interesting. So that we'll see about that. It says here the Fly Fire grew to over 1,600 acres and is being managed by part of the East Zone forces and is now the #1 priority for the East Zone. So this is how resources get stretched thin. When a new fire pops out, they've got to stretch their resources to attack that fire, and that leaves this right flank somewhat vulnerable with less personnel to man that right flank of this Dixie Fire while they attack now the new Fly Fire. Here's an example of how technology often breaks down on you. If you go for the local web page here at Plumas County, it's hard to get the information that you need locally for evacuation information on some of the local county web pages. You have to follow the local sheriff's web pages to get the evacuation information that you need. Here on the CAL FIRE website, again, this is a U.S. Forest Service fire, but again, on the CAL FIRE website, you have a more comprehensive list of websites that are going to help you get the information that you need if you are in the local area, specifically Butte County resources and Plumas County resources. Look for the sheriff's websites here. Again, hats off to Sheriff Honey of the Butte County Sheriff's Department. Plumas County is way behind as far as I can see on their technology for getting this information out online, but Butte County has good GIS evacuation maps available at the Butte County Sheriff's website. The regions in orange are evacuation orders. The regions in yellow are evacuation warnings. I would just get out of the way of this fire. Even though this is not a major wind-driven event, is just too big and creating its own weather every afternoon to be worth standing up against. Let's go to the Alert Wildfire Camera Network. This is the Bald Mountain lookout. It's a 12-hour look back as it's very early in the morning. There it is late in the afternoon. As the afternoon wears on and the towering pyro cloud settles down in the afternoon, note the puffs of dust as the occasional wind gusts from out of the southwest blow through the top of the mountain here. And then as the evening wears on, the fire tends to lay down. But throughout the night, we do not get the humidity recovery at night to really lay this fire down, and it continues to burn very actively throughout the night. In the next 24-hour burn cycle, that column is going to just lift right up out of the canyon again and be another very active day of burning. A little bit of diurnal flow just before sunrise, move some of the smoke back towards the camera, towards the west, and then the cycle will continue the next day, today. Making the rounds on the news is this footage from the firefighters escaping the fire in their fire trucks. Now this is from The Guardian, but the same clip is played all throughout the mainstream media. So the fire crews are driving right just through the edge of the fire here. They're going to get into some black right ahead. And hold the phone right there. These firefighters were battling the Tamarack fire in Nebraska. Good job, Guardian. You don't even know the first thing about what you're talking about here. This is California, when the fast-moving flames engulfed their fire engine. Well, they're just moving from one portion of the fire to the next, and right over here is the rest of their peers, and they're getting into the black. Those are the kind of conditions firefighters are working in currently. But it is not in Nebraska. Just to the east of the Dixie fire is the Beckworth complex we've been reporting on, where the Bodad airstrip is. That is pretty well done at 156,000 acres, so remediation is going to start there soon. Meanwhile, the Tamarack fire just south of Lake Tahoe has gone well past Markleyville, and it looks like it's crossed the 395 all the way into Nevada and is heading up into the Pine Nut Mountains of Nevada at 65,000 acres and just 4% containment. And the largest wildfire out west here is the Bootleg fire here in Oregon, just north of the California border in the Fremont National Forest, and it's going to cut all the way across the Fremont National Forest, down the escarpment, back into the desert here by Summer Lake. $400,000 acres, 42% containment. So that's a quick fire update from Northern California, from out here in Rockfall, Illinois. I got to head out to the airstrip today, and we got to put on an air show, the ACCA air show, and then head on up to Oshkosh on Sunday for some airplane camping and visiting a whole lot of friends. But the California situation is very distressing. If you know any airstrip property available in the Midwest, send me a private email there. I just don't know how sustainable things are going to be in California for the next few years here, as these wildfires just march closer and closer and closer to home. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, and especially everybody over on Patreon that make this content possible. We'll see you here. Look for the live updates as they pop off throughout the day here on this channel, out here at the ACCA events and Oshkosh. See you here.